What is ketosis? The human body, like a motor car engine, needs energy from fuel to function. The motor car engine's fuel is gasoline, while the human body needs sugar or glucose. Carbohydrate is the primary food group that is broken down to form glucose, which is then converted into the energy the body needs. In diets that emphasize a small amount of carbohydrates, the so-called low-carb diets, the body does not have enough carbohydrates to break down into glucose for energy, so the body has to use its storage of fat to create energy. When the body is in a state of ketosis, ketones, sometimes called ketone bodies, are released into the bloodstream. Ketones are toxic, acidic chemicals like acetone and beta-hydroxybutane. This release of ketones into the blood happens when the liver is converting fat into the fatty acids that will be used as energy by the body. The body's use of its fat storage during ketosis causes a loss in weight. This is why the low carbohydrate diets are so effective in creating weight loss in a relatively short period of time. Let's move from an oversimplistic ketosis definition to moderately simple one. Ketosis means that the body has gone from using carbohydrates as its source of fuel to fats almost exclusively. But it's a little more involved than fat. Ketosis starts when there are no enough carbohydrates in the bloodstream to refill glycogen stores in your liver. What is glycogen? The liver makes glycogen from carbohydrates as a kind of quick food source for the body. A lack of carbohydrates means the body needs an alternative food source or energy source. So the body uses fat, specifically fatty acids, instead. The liver breaks down fats into ketone bodies, commonly referred to as ketones. When the liver releases these ketone bodies into the bloodstream for the body to use as energy, this is ketosis. Often, when we hear about a diet that puts the body in a state of ketosis, we are fearful, having heard that ketosis is a potentially dangerous imbalance of blood glucose, the result of a low carbohydrate, high fat, high protein diet. Ketosis results when the body switches from burning glucose for energy to burning ketones for energy. Glucose comes from carbohydrates, which are the body's first choice to metabolize for energy. Ketones are used for energy when there is not enough glucose from carbohydrates present in the bloodstream to use for energy. Clinically tested, ketosis is a condition in which levels of ketones or ketone bodies in the blood are elevated. Ketones are formed when glycogen stores in the liver have run out. The ketones are used for energy. Ketones are small carbon fragments that are fuel created by the breakdown of fat stores. But it's a little more Ketosis is potentially a serious condition if ketone levels go too high. Perhaps the best known ketonic diet is the Atkins plan, in which the ketosis is deliberately achieved by way of high fat, high protein, and low carbohydrate diet. According to the Atkins program, proper monitoring via urine tests will keep ketosis within safe limits, and the dieter can reach an ideal body weight without suffering unbearable hunger. Most weight loss surgery patients are discouraged from following an Atkins type diet because of the high fat content. Surgery reduces the amount of gastric juice available for digestion, and many patients do not tolerate high fat stores. How does ketosis happen? When you eat carbohydrates, the body uses them for fuel and converts the rest into fat using insulin. This means that carbohydrates aren't really stored in the body except for those stored in the liver as glycogen. If you use up all the carbohydrates in your bloodstream and don't replenish them, your body will eventually have to use fat that you are ingesting with your food and fat stored in the body for fuel instead. It usually takes about 48 hours to induce ketosis. Ketogenic diet cite human evolution in their argument, saying during most of the time that humans have existed, we have been a hunter-gatherer species, living in a ketogenic state for extended periods. Documented studies suggest that after a 2 to 4 week period of adaptation, human physical endurance is not affected by ketosis. Some studies go so far to suggest that humans do not necessarily need a high carbohydrate intake in order to replace depleted glycogen stores for energy. The excess ketones created by the body is removed via the lungs by breathing and via the urine. The breath will have a fruity smell, sometimes mistaken for alcohol, and the urine gets darker. The presence of ketones in the urine can be detected with a special urine test strip sold in some pharmacies. Other than weighing on a scale, this is one of the ways that you can check to see if your low carbohydrate diet is being effective. Potential dangers of ketosis. If the body stays in a state of ketosis for a prolonged period of time, serious stress can occur to the liver and kidneys. A prolonged ketosis state is also thought to have a damaging effect on muscle tissues. A condition called ketosidosis, which is a severe form of ketosis, causes the acidity of the blood to fall to dangerous levels. This condition is normally associated with type 1 diabetes and should not be confused with ketosis. A growing number of diets are recommending lowering carbohydrate intake since the modern diet has so many more than what is necessary to fuel the body. Things like bread, pasta, sugar, soda, sweets, and other grain or sugar-based foods are very high in carbohydrates and are consumed more than they were before. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel so that you can receive videos whenever I release them, and also hit the notification button, the bell button, so that you can be notified every time I release a new video. Thank you.